Hello, we're the fifth wall. We're the fifth wall.
I'm Amelia and I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Zach, and I use he, him pronouns.
I'm Alex. I use he, him pronouns.
I'm Brett, and I use he, him pronouns.
And I'm Carmen, and I use she, her pronouns. Today, we're going to talk about the idea of speed, particularly in music. And the certain facets of speed that we're going to be talking about have to do with how speed creates a sense of urgency in music, how it can shock the listener, how it can put a strain on accuracy, and how sometimes when there is great speed within a piece of music, we focus on the speed rather than the music itself or the song itself. And we're also going to be talking a little bit about the symbolic meanings behind when a song includes speed. Zach, do you want to go
Yes,
into yours?
so speed,
Okay.
my favorite music genre, it being metal music, uses so much speed, so immediately I thought of so much examples, and the one that came to mind first was how in like the metal scene, basically you got all these people who are just kind of angry at stuff, whether that be just their own personal lives or they're just mad at the state of the world, and going to concerts and listening to this music is just a way to connect with people and release all that energy. And it's just nice to know that there are other people that are out there that are also angry, and that they can also allow them to do pretty silly things, as shown in this video of a concert that I went to. And I absolutely love this video. It's one of my favorites of all time. Okay, so what happened there was that band, their name is Amon Amarth, they're Swedish, and they have this one song called Put Your Back into the Oar, which is basically about like Vikings rowing and going out on like voyages and stuff. And that song, it's a tradition that everyone in the pit just sits down and they act like they're rowing a boat. And it is awesome. I've been in it. It's so fun. I know probably no one in there when I did it, but I didn't care because it was just awesome to connect with all those people who love the same thing that I do.
Nice.
Mhm.
Is it
I think,
oh, sorry.
no, you go.
Is the song like itself like faster than normal, like during that part?
Uh, no, well, it there are moments where it does get faster, but for that video, and for what I took, normally it was at like a kind of medium-ish speed there.
I think mosh pits are, I don't know, I'm scared. The idea of being in a mosh pit, like, I
Yeah,
feel like
it is
I'm
scary,
Get
gone.
trampled.
but the number
I
one
am
rule
lost.
is if someone gets knocked down, you pick them up. There are dickheads who will crowd kill and try to hurt you. I hate those people. They are outliers. But yeah, normally the mosh pits are just harmless fun.
A lot of
I
people
think
pass
that's,
out in mosh pits.
yeah.
Yeah, again, it that depends on like how drunk you are, the severity of the pit, or just
Because I'm
how
just
crowded
thinking,
it is.
when I went to a concert, the artist was very mellow. I think like three people passed out. And I'm like,
Girl,
damn.
I was at Claro. I was at Claro when someone passed out.
I,
She had to say,
Yeah.
"Hey, so
I was
my name's Claro, and someone just passed out at my concert."
I wasn't gonna say the name, but it was Phoebe Bridgers. Yes. But
Really?
Wait, that's actually relatable though.
yes. And it was during
Me
Smoke
during
I
I Know
would
the
pass
Signals.
out at a
End.
Phoebe
Like,
Bridgers
okay,
concert.
Did they
that's
It
so
like
was
valid.
fake due
it
to
was it
excitement?
wasn't even I Know the End, it was Smoke Signals. Smoke Signals,
Okay, well,
Not
three
still.
even joking.
people.
Okay,
That's
that's
valid. Like,
It was, but we had to restart the song. It was really funny.
We, yes, we.
We,
I think this
but
is a good
we.
example
She was
too,
on
because
there.
I think mosh pits sometimes go faster than the song is going because it's about energy and like the bodily experience and like the performer on the stage will like egg it on because they see it as a kind of like you're engaging with my music, like I want to see you, like it's kind of like a put your hands in the air kind of thing. um and I think that speaks to how speed and like noise level and like all of that kind of really like effective stuff in terms of concerts relate to how the audience can be just as much of a performer as the actual performer, and how like sometimes those elements of music can make it more suited to being experienced than being like passively listened to or evaluated, and that like the memory of the experience can add to the value of it to somebody who was there.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like there's also like a new. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you can go ahead.
Okay. This will be quick. But I feel like there's kind of a new like genre of rap right now where it's like it gets labeled as underground, but it's like well, it's not mainstream, but it's not like super underground. Like Ken Carson, like Destroy Lonely, like Two Hollis, or like Playboy Cardi. I'd say it's like the biggest one where people go to those concerts like to mosh, and like that's why like I personally like I listen to these artists, but like I would never go to their concert because like I just can't. I'm not into that. Like I'd literally like I'm 4'11", guys. Like I die in there. Um, but they kind of don't like perform the songs that much because they're kind of like tailoring to the mosh pit itself, I feel like.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
It
Yeah,
makes
I
me think
think
of Astro World a little bit. We
yes.
can get back to that. You say what you were going to say.
I was just gonna say that I think when it comes to live music, the especially fast live music, like the speed is it becomes like a reciprocal physical feedback loop of the like vibration in the room, and I think that's kind of how that's why I don't like metal or really fast music ever when I'm listening to it, but when you're there presently, it's like it's less so the music and more so the vibration of the room and the sort of aura, like in the like art definitional sense of aura, it's the presence in the room, and I think that's why speed is so effective in live venues.
Speed to music is what hype moments and aura are for movies.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really feel like there's nothing better than like when you're in a venue and you just feel like the collective energy come together for just a really special moment. Like there's just it's that sense of community that you don't really feel nowadays so often. And to have that just for like 15 seconds during like a really famous part of a song or like just a part where everyone knows the words, where everyone just knows what they're doing, it
Yeah.
just feels amazing.
I feel like that's a good segue into your example, Alex, because
My
Brat
example?
Summer. Yeah, it's your
Well,
example.
yes. Well, yes. I mean, it is kind of like when you think about it, like everyone going to the Apple Dance, like everyone kind of understood it's a cultural moment.
Brittany Broski getting trimmed.
It's actually
Hate him.
so fucking crazy. But the video of
That's all.
JT doing the Apple Dance and she doesn't know the dance at all, so she just does a split. It's so good.
That was
But
such
She
a good
wants to
like
be a part of it though.
I love it. I loved Brat Summer.
I know I'm nostalgic, but Charlie XCX does this really thought-provoking kind of original thing that she does on her album that you don't necessarily see very often. And so she has an opening track, at least on the default version of the album. Her opening track is 360, which is just like this kind of fun. I wouldn't say it's bubblegum, but it's like not what necessarily you'd expect from like the promotional material from the album. It's just like kind of light and airy and just like good vibes. And then her closing track is 365, which starts out with the exact same kind of feeling of 360 and goes into this kind of deeper house, like underground beat. And yeah, I think it's just a really great example of how speed can change the entirety of the feeling of a song because it's not like she's singing about super different things on 360 and 365. It just feels completely different because of the speed of the beat behind her and also just like the general tone of the music. So
Mhm.
I provided some examples for you today.
And I think what's lit about Brat is that it was a very like experienced album, not just like through internet trends, but also like she was having raves. She was like, what were they called? What were those like sessions
Boiler
called?
Room.
Boiler
Boiler
rooms
Room,
is
yeah.
what she called them.
That's a
And people would
buzzword.
come and yes, and she would play them, and I think 360 being the introduction, and it's like a little bit calmer, but it's like initially like kind of hyping. Um, like it has that kind of like exploratory feel of the vibe that a lot of opening tracks have, like a little bit of curiosity. And then 365 is like we're going full send, we're going out with a bang. Like I want it's like what at the end of a concert, the artist is like, I want you guys as loud as you've ever been. Like there's
Yeah.
this idea at those kinds of things where like your energy needs to go up and up and up and up and it needs to end up. Um,
Yeah.
and that's what that very much speaks to for me. And she accomplishes that by doing speed and intensity and like overlays more like synth beats
Yeah.
um, and deeper sound as well, which creates a certain like um, depth and meaning and like visceral feeling.
And it's also like she's remixing her own work, which I
Yeah, I
think,
was gonna say it's literally a
yeah,
sample. Like 365 is literally sampled from 360. It's just like
yeah,
sped up more.
exactly, which is so like it's Brad. Like let me say it,
Yeah,
it's
we have
Brad.
talked about like the self reflexivity of Brat before. Like at the risk of running it into the ground, like I truly think it is really cool because it did breach like the fourth wall, the like it's not really a fictional realm that music exists in, but like a different kind of like ether. And it breached it because then everyone was looking for the lime green color everywhere. Like this is the album cover, so it's just like the Helvetica font and like this really unnatural like chartreuse color. And then everybody started like looking for it around, and it was like they romanticized little things because they were like, "This is Brat." Um, and she changed all of her like covers of her other albums to have that
I don't
same
want to
like
talk about
font
it. Like,
vibe. And see, some people didn't like it, but it was kind of like a performance art thing as a
yeah,
whole. And I think that's always self-reflexive, and I think it's really
because
fun.
like literally the entire album was like her. It's just so funny because the entire album is her talking about like, yeah, no one really like pays attention to my music, even though I'm
Yeah,
kind of a genius,
no one fucks with me.
and
She's so
no one
me.
fucks with me, even though I'm literally like probably the most talented pop musician out right now. So I'm just gonna like dumb it down for them a little bit, but like it's still gonna be the best thing they've ever heard. And that's kind of what happened. Like, and it kind of
Mhm.
like, but and I love when like then people go back and listen to like How I'm Feeling Now, which is her album that came out in 2020, and
Oh
they're like,
man.
ooh, like I don't
I
like
love that.
this
Yeah.
because
I
it's like
love that
really
album.
Like how are you not bumping
I
to
love
Pink
that album too.
Diamond? Are you kidding me?
That's how you
Yeah,
separate the
because
cream and the whey or whatever. Like,
they just don't like the like experimental stuff where speed is at like a level that they're just not used to hearing on the mainstream radio. But like I don't know, Brat is still like peak.
It is. It is.
and
Like
she
even the
references like
sound.
herself and like I want to dance with AG as in like AG Cook, her like producer or whatever.
I want to dance
Like,
with George,
yeah,
her
and
husband.
like the club classics, like she's referring to club culture itself, which like situates the album already upon like its release. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
Tune. It's really amazing. So yeah, I think that's a good introduction to the clips that we have for
Okay, let's hear her.
I went my own way and I made it. I'm your favorite reference, baby. Call me Deborah, yeah, you're so inspired. Tectonic moves I make 'em shock you like defibrillators. No style, I can't relate. I'll always be the one. Drop down, residue. Push my hair back, look hot when I'm no, I really don't stop when I'm gonna jump when it drops when I'm down 999 is a good time. Who the fuck are you? I'm a brat when I'm bumping that. No, I wanna hit my track. Are you bumping that? Till the windows crack, I'll be bumping that. No, I'll never go home, don't sleep, don't eat, just do it on repeat. Keep when I'm in the club, yeah, I'm 365 party girl. Should we do a little key? Should we have a little line? Wanna go real wild when I'm meet me in the bathroom with you. 365 party girl. French manicure, whipple with a recipe.
There was an epilepsy
Guys.
warning on that video.
Meet me in the club if
Yes.
you're bumping that.
So it's very
Oh,
brave,
girl.
very
Yes.
much. And you can see how the energy is like, let's start. Let's get to know each other.
Yes.
Let's get
Let's
situated.
party.
And then it's like, okay, we're all together. Let's get fucking lit. Like, let's like
Mhm.
mosh, bro.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think this is maybe a
literally
good
feels
segue.
like-
You go.
It feels like to me, it's like Charlie being like talking to the mainstream, being like, hey guys, today I'm going to talk about hyperpop and what that is exactly. And then at the end, it's like, all right, let's just get into it.
Exactly.
Like,
It
now
does-
you know.
I'm on coke. Like,
It literally feels like the
Let's-
entire album is like a primer to this very moment where she
Yeah.
just fully switches it on. You know what I mean? Like,
And as you
Yeah.
were saying, like how it's like an introduction to this type of music kind of dumbed down, it's like it gets more intense and like freaky as she goes because she's trying to teach you, she's trying to acclimate you so that then
Yeah.
you can get with the rest of her program.
ugh,
And I
she
think
tore that.
this is a good segue into my example. So full disclosure, I'm not a raver or anything. I've never been to the club, but I do know this phenomenon of there's certain types of clubs that play really, really fast EDM music to the point where the beat is like barely distinguishable and it just sounds like a wall of sound, like a laser or something. And this reminded me of what we discussed in class, with some of those, punk and metal examples, but I think this connects to the culture of raving, as we've been talking about with Charlie XCX, where so much of it is a bodily experience. And like, this is the type of thing where I'm like, I can't imagine listening to this and enjoying this if I'm not involved in this subculture. Because so much of it is about the experience and like the insider knowledge of like the listening strategy. So
Okay. Okay, hold
Wow,
on.
Amelia.
Do you know what that reminds me of these Instagram videos I've seen where it's like easy warm up for guitar or piano and it'll start
I
off
love
easy
those.
and then it'll get faster and then it'll get impossible to like it just to where it just sounds like that.
yeah, and I think that's good to bring up because that relates to like the examples we discussed in class where the novelty of the speedy song was about being able to play it and like your technical ability and your like mobility versus something like this is like how hype can you get, how fast can you dance, how hard can you mosh, how like much can you jump, like how much stamina do you have. And like I feel like it's in terms of like this kind of scene, it's like it's looked down upon to not be able to swing it with the most hardcore, like it's like a status symbol to be able to like appreciate something like this. I can imagine if you were involved in this kind of a subculture, like it's kind of seen as like metal, gnarly, righteous, like all of these things. And it reminds me, it really does, of the type of pipeline that we've like hypothesized that Charlie has set out with Brat, where it's like, let me wean you into getting more extreme with our hyperpop style. And like it's like it reminds me of, there's like the psychological principle of when you listen to something and it's like too loud. This happens with all your senses, but you like adjust to like the threshold and then you have to like raise it
Yeah.
again. So when like
Yeah.
you turn a song up and then it's not loud enough eventually after you've listened to it at that volume and then you have to turn it up more. Like this is like, okay, this song is extreme, and then you listen to it enough that you adjust to that type of thing, and you're like, okay, well, I need something more. I need something that is like punchier in a new way now. So eventually, you would move up the line until you get to something like this.
Yeah. I feel like when I went to go visit my friend in Illinois, he fucked my ears up so bad because his car speaker would be on 100. And I'm like in the passenger seat, I'm like, if you don't turn this shit down, my ears are going to start bleeding. And it's like he's like playing fucking Daft Punk, and I'm like, I can't take it no more. I just
I
can't
can't
do
even
it.
imagine being in a club where this type of a thing is playing. It must feel like getting shot.
Absolutely, it is.
And
It
do you know
is.
what else actually relates to this idea of like hierarchy, like moving up towards the ultimate, extreme example? Is I saw on TikTok somebody was at this like European club where as you went up the floors, the BPM would get faster. Um, and that's very like, and I think that's like a quintessential example of this concept because it's like you are literally there in the place like practicing, like rehearsing your way to get up to hang with like the top dogs at the EDM club.
Okay, send me that link. Kind of
I'll
wait,
try to
I'm
find it again. Like
curious. Let's see how
the
far I
fifth
can go.
wall going to a rave. Like
Maybe.
let's do the jump style.
Bro,
Uh,
forget
you'll
the wham. We're going to the rave.
you'll find me just in the corner.
Yeah.
Let's get some
No, probably me
too.
too.
candy
I
on.
don't have the central nervous system for this type of a thing. Like I don't understand the people who are like, this is calming to me. Because like I have a
Better
panic
come.
attack when people sneeze. Like I don't understand.
Y'all want my candy? No, you're not feeling her.
No.
No, y'all not feeling her. She
Bro,
a,
just out of
she,
nowhere.
she a little low budget, but is that wrong or
Oh, no, I got some too.
we feeling classist right now or okay?
Yeah. No, 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 no.
We've talked a little bit about how speed, especially in live music, kind of works as a physical reaction inducer. What am I saying? Speed is reactionary when you listen to it live. But I would also argue that speed, even over digital consumption of music, it can work through storytelling since it I don't know if there's a word for this, but it like physicalizes the
Literalizes.
it like
Like
yeah
actualizes
the
it.
motion of the song like it
Yeah,
becomes like physical.
actualizes.
It actualizes the motion of the music. My example is from one of my favorite albums, Lights by Kishibashi. It's kind of stomp and whittle violin indie pop style. And the sort of overarching aesthetic of the album is this carefree fantasy land of like love and delight and like sex, and it's like big and jubilant. And I would argue that when listening to this, speed works as it feels like racing horses or a heartbeat or just like the build of adrenaline. So I'm ready for my example to be played.
Right.
It's just maybe 15 seconds from the beginning of the song. I said 42 seconds if that still works.
Yep.
All right.
I fell in love with you anywhere I know. I went for many miles until I couldn't go. Could so many ways I didn't even know about you. I made a guess about your Christmas snow.
Right.
So
Mm.
that's my
That
favorite
sound like
album.
of Montreal.
Yeah, like it's very like I love that
Quirky.
album. And I just would argue that so this it's a little bit funny, like the album does not take itself super seriously. And it's this sort of it's funny, it's whimsical, and you internalize that with the it's like a vibrational depiction of adrenaline. And I would argue that that speed is sort of integral to how the audience understands the music and that.
Mm.
Which
And
I
I think
think
that,
ties into
yeah,
rave culture and the how you feel music.
yeah. And I think connected to both your paradigm here and also the raving stuff is like the timbre of the
Yes.
instruments that are being played. Like your song had this little like very high squeaky almost noise that it reminded me of like the synth drops in like EDM that are sometimes very
Mhm.
high, but they alternate between, there's like always a super, super low. And I felt like yours was like very high more than it was grounded, which adds to the like dreamland
Mhm.
aesthetic. And it reminds me of a lot of other kind of quirky, whimsical type of bands that make me feel like this, like I said of Montreal, but also like Miniature Tigers sometimes.
Yes, absolutely.
Glass Beach. One song I was going to bring up for Speed was classic Jay Dies and Goes to Heaven because I haven't listened to it in a long time, but I'm sure that it sped up and slowed down at some point. Tally Hall, even.
I love
Just
Tally Hall.
there's this just this kind of like, and also like Dream Suite and Sweet Maid. Dream Suite in C major. Final reference.
Mhm.
They all just have that kind of like swirly, like almost psychedelic, like
Mhm.
dreamy feel.
And I think something interesting about your example is I feel like in class, a lot of the examples we had were like Speed used to kind of portray a certain anger or like a certain rage at the world.
Masculinity.
Yeah, and I feel like the Speed in your song that you chose was just like joyful. Like it shows like it shows that like Speed is not just one thing. It cannot only portray one emotion, like it's like the same thing with like a slow song. It can portray a certain kind of somberness, or it can portray like a contentment, like something where you're realizing like both sides now is kind of like a slow song, but it's not necessarily sad. I mean, it is sad, but it is more like I understand a part of myself now,
Yeah,
and
and
it's
also
like,
I
yeah,
have another one too. Like We'll Never Have Sex by Lath
yeah,
Ross. Beautiful,
yeah.
beautiful, slow
Hmm.
song, and the style of a song that you would expect it to be so sad, but it's just so
It's
like
happy. It's like it's real
heartwarming.
love. It's real love, So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is like Speed is not only one thing, and it can really portray a lot of different emotions depending on how the artist chooses to use it.
Yeah, I think another one of my favorite albums is Age of Odds by Sufjan Stevens, and that is sort of his biggest collection of electronic experimental work. And that's I mean, he plays a lot with timing. Like one of the songs is like 25 minutes long, and a lot of it's super quick. And that is one of the most miserable albums I have ever listened to. That
It's
shit has
devastating.
ruined my life.
It's devastating.
Um, it's devastating. I actually can't even talk about it because I'm gonna start
Trauma,
crying.
rage and trauma.
Oh,
But like speed, like it's speed does not just have to equate to anger or even like aggressive adrenaline. Like it's just like the furthering of something. It could be
Yeah,
anything.
exactly. Well, don't get me into Sufjan.
Mhm.
Come on,
Oh
y'all.
my
Well,
Y'all
God.
don't get me into it.
speaking of miserable albums that are actually
Yeah.
really fun, um, Blonde by Frank Ocean. So the first thing that I thought of when I thought of Speed was Nights by Frank Ocean, which I feel like is, well, it's low-key having a tie right now with, you guys know that girl on like Instagram Reels who just like walks around India, like she's from like Mumbai or something, and she just
yes.
walks
I
around.
love
She's
those
like a fashion
videos.
designer, and she just like kind of shows off her clothes, but she's just not saying anything, and just like
And the
Nights by
videos
Frank
are all
Ocean.
sped up.
Can y'all send me
Mhm.
that?
Yes, and they're all sped up.
I want that
But
on my desk.
In Nights, it's like the whole song is, it's kind of talking about two different like aspects of his life. One of it's being like he's from New Orleans and then he had to move. He moved to Texas with his family like after Hurricane Katrina. And so it's both talking about that struggle in his life and a relationship he was in with someone. In the first half is like very fast, not very fast, but he's like obviously rapping and talking about kind of like all the negative aspects of the relationship. And for like reference, a lot of Blonde, like a lot of the songs on Blonde are supposed to be like in the perspective of someone who's on drugs, like actively. And so like two-thirds into the way into the song, there's kind of this like not break, but like, I mean, you guys know the song. Like it starts
Yeah.
speeding up, like the synths. It almost sounds like it's glitching, and then
Yeah.
it just like keeps going super fast, 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 and then it just stops. And the second half of the song, or like the last third of the song, is like this really lo-fi beat, and it's supposed to kind of be like you've reached your high, um, like you're tripping. And now he's talking about like all the good parts of the relationship he had with that person. It's very interesting. But yeah, Zach, if you don't mind playing it, I kind of the timestamp I gave you is kind of you can keep this part in like it's right in the middle of like the song sounding like it's kind of glitching. You can
Okay,
play
so
it now.
249 was right.
Yeah, yeah.
Every night fucks every day up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
totally get
so
what you mean
that's
by that.
peak.
I could have listened to that entire thing. So.
Yeah, I know. It feels like you're ascending. Like it does
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah, exactly.
Driving to
what
this
it's
song.
supposed to do.
Oh yes.
And we're gone. But yeah, I think that for me, this is obviously different from like the rave like conversation we were having, but definitely has to do with like storytelling and kind of like actualizing the not just like the climax of the story, but the climax of like being high and like realizing that you're high. Um, but I feel like when it comes to the story, the speed kind of you don't have to like have been through a breakup to know, or like maybe a friend breakup too, where you're kind of done being mad at someone and you're kind of just like, okay, maybe let me try and be a decent person and like be happy for this person or try and remember the good moments I've had with them. I feel like that's what that kind of feels like. Obviously, it's induced in the song like by a substance, but I do feel like that speed is representative of like just being overwhelmed with like not just being tired of like being tired and like annoyed by something. Which I feel like, yeah, that's definitely we talk a lot or we talked a lot in class about like what you were saying, Amelia, with like speed representing masculinity, and kind of speed being the height of masculinity or like being perceived as so. Um, which is definitely true like in a lot of rock music. But I feel like it's very similar in this, but it's showing how like it has a breaking point. Like you can't just stay on that like, you know, rapping super fast, like talking about all the shitty things that are happening to you. Like, you know, there's a breaking point.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's good to mention because Frank Ocean is also subversive, especially in like a semi-rap type of scene because a lot of his songs aren't like exclusively rap, but they clearly pull from rap. Um, and he's very like open with emotions, which I feel like a lot of other styles of rap music don't exactly do that necessarily, like reflect internally, like a lot of it is performing masculinity in the way that a lot of rock music is. Um, and it is a subversive thing then to use that a similar element to look inward and do something that's often perceived as unmasculine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think,
Sorry.
oh no, you know,
Oh, okay. Um, Also, I was just gonna say, like, Nights, I think on the album plays like an interesting role in the track list because I feel like it's Blonde as an album feels like too to me. Like, I always think of like Nike's Pink and White, and like
Ivy.
Ivy, and like all these songs, like the first 5 tracks of the album feel very different than the last few. The last few feel very reflexive. Like you have White Ferrari, Close to You. Like those are like absolutely
Just like horribly
devastating.
good song. Yeah,
It's
just
like
like why did you make
Damn.
this?
Like, because now you make me
Makes
just
me want to rip my skin off.
like you just
Why
pissed me
didn't you say
off.
this? Like,
No, like and
that
it's
one
like
part
the-
of White Ferrari at the end that low key makes you want to kill yourself.
I
It's
can't
like
even
the
talk about it.
conversation of like, should the creator of the AK-47, like, should he have made the AK-47?
Like, do you know what you did? Like, you butterfly effect the fuck out of
Oppenheimer.
us. No, actually, because it's like nice,
Literally modern day
perfectly.
Oppenheimer.
Absolutely, because he like
Oppenheimer for bisexual people, like,
girl. It's
Truth milk.
although when you think, but but I just feel like Night sits in this position of the album where it is just like it is that kind of segue into like a slower, more earnest, vulnerable space where like you get like I'm pretty sure it's like Nights into like what is it Nights into
Is it
Solo
Skyline?
Reprise,
Or Solo, yeah.
which is
Ooh,
like
don't get me started.
that's a but also you get like right before Nights you get like Good Guy, which is like one of the slower songs on the album, and it's just like him talking about going to a gay bar and like one of his first experiences with a guy, and it's like you have this kind of slow seg into like just like devastation. And like the first few songs are sad as well, but like it's not until really after Nights you get just pure horror. Like
Just pure, like, what are we doing?
if you
Like,
like
what?
being a
Horror.
teenager going and listening to Blonde, you think this is me, this is my album, this is about me, he wrote this about me, and it's like what? But it truly like
Baby, you've never been to the gay bar.
baby
Like,
no like he was on something different here, and that's why he channeled all of his creative energy into this one album. And he'll
He
never
was
Listen,
regret
like
on-
gay bar in my soul. Like,
yeah, he was on A Quaalude. Thank you.
it. Yeah.
And
Okay,
I
cut that
love
part.
that you can see it through his other album too, Channel Orange. Like he fluctuates between high energy and like mellowness so much too. Like we go from monks to Bad Religion. That's a
What are we
big
doing?
swing.
don't
That's a
even say
big
those words to
swing.
me.
It's almost
Not
like it
actually
almost
talking.
doesn't
And
make
let's talk about Pyramids. 8 minute
Why
long
would we
that
do
song.
that?
Pyramids is like I feel like Nights is kind of like the pyramids of
Yeah,
Blonde.
exactly. Like
Like,
his Pyramids,
he-
it speeds up in different ways. He introduces more beat drops, but in like it's like a slow beat drop, and then it speeds up. Like it's so weird, and I love it.
he just doesn't like I guess that's a like with rock a lot of the time it's a pretty consistent speed and that sets a very like you know what you're getting yourself into. But with someone like Frank Ocean, like he really has no agenda, it feels like. You know,
Yeah.
he just like even someone like Tyler the Creator, like he's kind of all over the place, but it's very orchestrated.
Mhm.
And it's usually one like very linear story throughout the entire thing. Whereas Blonde doesn't really feel like a linear story at all. Like doesn't feel I
It's
literally feel that too
anecdotes
about yeah. I almost feel
Like
that way too about
anthology.
like Bad Bunny. Like Bad Bunny, I don't know if you guys listen to him, but his albums also feel a little all over the place in the sense that it's like, wait, we were just at the club and now we're depressed, like locked in our room. Like I don't know what's going on.
But
Two
okay.
things can be true at once.
Yeah.
And you know what we can connect as well? Brat goes Von Dutch, everything is romantic, rewind, so I. And that to me is a very clear mellowing out. It picks back up again after that, but it also goes from sympathy as a knife to I might say something stupid. So what does this mean? Okay, for translating for Humanin, sympathy as a knife is a song about I'm pretty sure someone in her circle was dating Taylor Swift, allegedly,
Matty Healy.
and
Just like women
Yes.
fighting.
We're getting back to
Yeah,
Matty
she
Healy.
was,
It
like,
always comes back to
feeling-
him.
it wasn't that she was trying to dig at Taylor Swift or other women in the industry. It was like, I just can't help but feel inferiority next to you based on I can't help but crave success because I feel proud of my art and like I see your success and it feels kind of rubbed in my face, but I know you're not doing that. And like it was just an acknowledgement of the complexity of that statement. And then right after that, it's like I Might Say Something Stupid, which is a very like mellowed out song about like feelings of belonging and like self-consciousness. Then after that, we go to Talk Talk. Super, super high energy song, romantic
Now we're at the club.
endeavor, like situationship. Please, like, let's talk to each other, like what's happening. Um, and then everything is romantic. No, then it goes to Von Dutch, which I mean, you have to listen to the featuring Addison Rae version. And that is like a I'm just living that life, like you wish you were me, like club, we're in the club. And then everything is romantic is like there's such beauty in the little things around me. And so that's like a bit of a mellowing out from there yet again. And then after that, you get more introspective with Rewind, which it's still high energy, but it's like I think about my past all the time. And sometimes I just want to go back to the past when things I perceive them as having been simpler, even though I know that maybe they weren't. And then So I is like the mellowest one at the bottom of that. Like it's looking at somebody and like in admiration of them. Um and like thinking of their power and stuff, but it has like a deep like it's low and it's like slow and more stretched out, I feel, when you listen to it in
That song is
comparison to like
devastating.
Rewind. Like Rewind is like that and like So I is like
Yeah.
I feel like it only
um
makes sense though that like women or like queer people like Frank Ocean like have kind of a varying level, like a real like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a range.
Mhm.
Because
mhm.
like rock music is like obviously dominated by like very binary views of masculinity. And which I'm not saying that rock music is like bad or like sending us back in time or whatever, but a lot of the like aesthetic comes from that.
It's
Whereas
more like
like someone like
standardized, like
yeah, and I feel like that's very representative of like men are like made to feel like they can't talk about their feelings, they can't feel anything but like dominance and like aggression in their life. Whereas like women like Charlie XCX, like her music is representative and the whole album is about like the idea of being really, really successful, but feeling like you can't like acknowledge it literally ever. Like I honestly would challenge you and say that I feel like she is digging directly at Taylor Swift
Mhm.
because there was like Taylor Swift, I forget what it was exactly, but she started like she opened up a sale for like her music or something. She did something that like put her at number one in the
Yeah.
UK above
That
Yes,
was
that's
Charlie.
true.
rough.
She
That was
released,
rough.
it wasn't it the
And
Tortured Poets
yeah,
Department? She
yeah,
released
I
like a
think so.
vinyl variant of it or
Yeah.
something at the same
Yeah.
time.
So Charlie
I believe
wasn't
so.
Charlie like they were like analyzing like obviously like statistic based through the record company that like Charlie was going to have the number one album in the UK, which obviously would have been great. She's British. Um,
hmm
but she didn't. And like
And then she had
what
the
else?
audacity, Taylor had the audacity to release Actually Romantic, which
What are we
is,
talking
do you
about?
guys know
Get
that
that
one?
shit
It's
away
from
from
I've
me.
I've heard mixed things about that one.
I hate that damn
her, so
song.
Taylor Swift's new album is low-key ass. It still gets into my head like a brainworm sometimes because it's engineered
Sure.
psychologically to
Doesn't
do
sh-
that to you. But
doesn't in one song she just rap about some guy's dick or something?
yes, Travis Kelce's dick. A song called Wood. Unlistenable. That one is unlistenable.
Wait, no, I've been wanting to listen to that.
That's actually my favorite
Said
song
no
on the
one ever.
album.
Oh, okay, because I asked, like, because we were all wondering.
And she's also doing like a Sabrina Carpenter ripoff, and then she makes a song called Actually Romantic, which is like, oh, you called me a bitch is a dog, dogs bark. Bark is on trees. Trees are
Yeah.
part of nature, so thank you for calling me beautiful like nature. Like, it's literally that. It's I'm rubber, you're glue. It's dumb. And it's also stupid because she's misappropriating everything is romantic, which is a song about romanticizing the little things in life and spending time with people and experiences. And then she's saying, like, It's actually romantic that you have the need to make a song about me. Like, it's not about you.
Can we just let like alternative like women of color like have please just like one moment of fame? Like
Yes,
Right?
please.
Like,
not
if
to
I
sound like
was Taylor
not
Swift
to
and
sound like a
somebody was
cornball,
like
but like
shitting on me, I'd be like, sure, that's valid.
I'm
Like,
like, boy, I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
but I don't I don't mean to be a Taylor Swift hater, like, but she's just like her capitalist scheme.
It's
no, you can
so
hate on Taylor Swift. It's
frightening.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
frightening. I
I
mean,
don't think I like her.
it's like
No.
I'm so like up and down with this lady, like, but she's really lost. Like, I feel like I've never been like a true Swiftie, whatever that means. But I was definitely a fan of hers from like
Mhm.
folklore era up until Midnight's, or right up until the Tortured Poets Department.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, "Oh my God, you are pissing me off."
I was a fan during the Reputation era.
Yeah, well, yes. Look what you
Like,
made me do. That was a
unfortunately,
hit.
like, I really love most of Taylor Swift's music. I acknowledge that it has like flaws and is objectively bad sometimes, but like I really just built a connection with it for some reason. But then this new fucking album
It's
is
so
so bad.
bad.
Like, and I love Tortured Poets Department. I hated it at first, but then I listened to it more and I was like, okay, wait, I
There are
really
good
like
songs
that.
on it. Yeah.
But then this one is just like industry plant slop. You can hear the strain in her voice from being on tour for like 5 years. Like,
It's the
put the
Brendan
honey
Urie
down.
pipeline of doing too much.
Literally, literally,
She's like
literally.
she couldn't do speed because she's just out the window at this point. Like there's no room for like abstract anymore. Like she's just like, am I gonna like when I hear our song, am I gonna be like our song
I
is as good as
fucking
good?
love
Like
that song.
that's my favorite song. But
Amanda.
yeah,
Just
okay,
another picture to
that's my
burn.
rant.
No, I fully agree. I do agree. I feel like capitalism corrupts all, and like you can see like let me get real Tumblr cornball with it. But it is like frustrating to see like real artistry go out the window to appeal to like statistics on Billboard Hot 100 that really no one's paying attention to anymore, you know? Like
Yes.
if
Selling
for
out.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly. Selling out.
it's so frustrating, and it's like this is the moment Charlie XCX's new movie out now on digital. Humanin, come on, let's watch. But
No,
Stream.
it's too new
come
for
on,
him.
let's stream. But like she tackles every aspect of like capitalism in modern pop music. I mean, pop music is almost inherently capitalist, but you can have pop music that goes against the grain in that sense. And Taylor has just, instead of even trying to fight against that, she's gone full capitalist demon. And it's like,
I feel
In
like
a way
Somebody
that
it's
had
makes
to
you
also
do it.
question everything.
yeah.
I feel like it's like what we were talking about in class. Like we value songs with speed, you know, that are alternative when the people that are singing them are like inherently like their identities are alternative. Like even the fact that like Charlie XCX is not a fully white person, like her like she's Asian, like her mother's from India. Her like shows like even if she's a white presenting person, like she'll always be like a white woman in the pop industry to the mainstream, like to the public. But that a lot of the struggle that she talks about has to do with like the idea of being a mixed race person in a very racist country like England. Um, like that says a lot too. And
Yeah.
just like, I don't know, being also like people never give her the hyperpop like title unless they really know Charlie XCX and they have known her for the past 10 15 years that she's been making music and art and yeah. But yeah.
And I feel like Taylor Swift used to sometimes make music about real problems. Like, obviously, a lot of her music was super boy focused, like, blah, 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 could have just pulled the story out of her ass type of a thing. But I feel like once she hit, like, Lover, even, like, and like 1989, even, like, she could sing about other stuff. Like, she was singing about, like, being a woman. And it was like white woman pop feminism. So it was like vapid, but it was like, that was like the Me Too era. That was like the first like foray into like let's go mainstream feminist type of thing. So she used to kind of touch on it, and in Welcome to New York and in fucking Me and bullshit, it was like there was like let's be gay and
You need
like
to calm
sure
down,
Taylor.
Truther.
Yes,
Shade
like
never made
love
anybody
that
less good.
song. Um, and those songs were super popular on the radio, and that was just such a lightning in a bottle moment, I feel, because then after that, wasn't Reputation right after that, or was Reputation before that?
After.
Reputation was after that. Oh, because she was having scandals. Wasn't it like Katy Perry or some bullshit she was still ruminating on?
All of the above.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
And like,
Sorry.
and that was very like mic drop, like vigilante shit precursor. Like, do I like Reputation? Yeah, yeah, I do. But
That's
is
a good
it
album.
corny?
Yes.
It's corny, but it's good. But I feel like that's when she started to get more self-absorbed again.
That's
I
a
don't
good
know.
point about like her relationship like with queer people as well, compared to someone like Charlie XCX. Like Taylor Swift is not crying on Billboard radio about how much she misses like Sophie, the producer. You know what I
Girl, she
mean?
don't
And
even
like
know who
how
that
much
is.
she she doesn't like she might know who Sophie is, but she doesn't know in depth what that woman did for the pop industry,
Yeah.
you know? Like I don't know. Just yeah.
It's frustrating.
And the Taylor Swift fandom is so intriguing because you will find a lot of like queer white men and like white women, like older white women, and like a huge amount of the fan base who's like, she's actually doing performance art and she's been gay and with Carly Kloss the entire time. Sometimes I read up on their theories just for fun, and I'm like, it's truly astonishing that you managed
Which
to
one of
bring
you
like
that
every pop
was
girl
talking about that
into.
with? Was that you?
It might have been me. I don't
No,
know.
it was me.
It was you.
Because literally, no, because I literally did speech and debate. This is literal merch for my speech and debate team in high school. And one of our cases was about whether or not it's ethical to speculate if Taylor Swift is a lesbian. And I was
Oh
like,
my God.
in what world am I at a national speech and debate competition talking about whether or not I can say Taylor Swift is a lesbian?
You're finally
Like,
getting to the real issues here, though.
Like, okay,
that
my
because
opinion is you can speculate but reflect on it. And
we were just like,
like,
of
why?
course you can speculate. Like, it's art. Like,
And like, if you really want like a
cares?
queer icon, though, like find somebody who is actually out and queer and doing pop music. Those people exist and are there. And while it would be fascinating if she was doing performance art the whole time and everything, I think it's important to also take people at their word, especially when they're in a position in the industry like that, until they prove you otherwise, because she has no reason to keep trying to climb the ladder. She's already at the top. So maybe she's telling us how she truly feels when she releases something like Wish List and is like, yeah, I was being performative the whole time. I didn't mean it in Lavender Haze when I was like, the only kind of girl they see is a one-night or a wife, and I don't want either of those things. And now she's singing, I just want you, Travis Kelce. Have a couple kids, got the whole block looking like you, dreaming about a driveway with a basketball hoop. Like,
Oh.
oh, so
Don't
this
find
is
me
your
on that
true
block.
colors. And it makes me fucking mad because Wishlist sonically is such a good song, I think, in my opinion. I like listening to the sound, but the lyrics are like, stop, be quiet, stop. Anyway.
She really played on that album. It's actually a nightmare.
Anyway, that's my Taylor Swift rant. Now let's stop talking about her before I actually commit homicide.
That's right.
So moral
Wait,
of the
what?
story is speed can speak to the human experience and resonates in your body as well as serves as a literary metaphor sometimes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa.